Okay. Presentation. This one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, no, it's fine. You can. I can look here. No, but the other people will look here. Fine. Thank you. So. Reinforcing cooperation between the EU and Eastern Partnership countries in energy research and innovation. That was the task that I was given to speak here. And yeah, let's start the presentation. So I'm Austrian. I'm a representative of the Center for Social Innovation in Vienna, Austria. And we are one of the largest social scientific research institutions in Austria, established in 1990, with about 60 employees. We are working on different fields. I am myself, I'm working on research, international research and innovation cooperation. We have a department for work and equal opportunities. We have another department on technology and knowledge, and I am in the department for research policy and development. We are working on several projects funded by the European Union in the Framework Program 7 on international research and innovation cooperation. We are coordinating, a colleague of mine is coordinating a project dedicated to cooperation with Ukraine, the Bilat Ukraina project. And myself, I'm coordinating a project which is called ENA2I, Energy Research to Innovation. So one of the projects that Thierry de Vaz was mentioning already this morning on strengthening the innovation and research links in the energy field. Yes. So here is the example of this Bilat Ukraina project, which a colleague of mine is coordinating. Go ahead. Once again. So let's have first a brief introduction how is the innovation situation in the Eastern Partnership countries. So I was given this task of introductory statements, so I prepared some slides how our perception and how our understanding of the innovation situation is. So in principle, Eastern Partnership countries have inherited a strong science base from the Soviet Union. That's still to some extent in place, a very good and important tradition of science. The Soviet Union spent more than 2% of GDP on science and has achieved a lot of very important scientific breakthroughs, sending rockets to the moon and wherever, to space. Now European Union is dependent on cooperation with Russia and sending satellites up. But what have we seen after the breakup of the Soviet Union is that the science sector was downsized significantly over the last 20 years. So the financing, the financial resources declined, of course, in all the Eastern Partnership countries. We see in the last years, in the last 10 years, a trend that in Russia funding of research and innovation has increased significantly, so the situation has much improved. Whereas in other countries, it remains rather difficult. Science funding is very low. We are now in Russia at 1.2% of GDP that is invested into R&D, whereas in countries like in Moldova or in Armenia, it is below 0.4, 0.2% of GDP, which is invested into R&D. So that's very, very low. We have a tradition, can go back. We have a tradition of a very solid education, so a good school and university system, but of course we have seen certain problems with the quality of the education over the last years. So in particular, faculty is overloaded with teaching tasks and cannot spend enough time into performing research. We also know that the research was concentrated mainly in the academy sector, so trying to bring research into the university sector is a major challenge for most of the Eastern Partnership countries. R&D is in many countries, in most of the Eastern Partnership countries, rather disconnected from the business sphere. So this is a fact. which we have to state. There is a perception when we talk to researchers, and I'm talking for many years now to researchers in Eastern Partnership countries, that there is a lack of demand for R&D from the state. So that was the previous system. The state ordered R&D from the research institutes, but now the situation is different. There are businesses, there are small and medium-sized businesses developing, but they are obviously not sufficiently demanding R&D from the research institutes and universities. So also often the approach is that there are research results generated at research institutes, and then when the results are generated, they should be transferred somehow to the business sector, but this transfer is rather difficult. It is more important from the point of view from several scientists to bring initially businesses and research institutes together to perform jointly projects, innovative projects where innovations are developed which are really in need for the company. But what we also have seen in recent years, innovation support structures are being established. So many countries have understood it is necessary to stimulate also the innovation activities. When we look at Moldova, for example, there is now an agency in place, the Agency for Innovation and Technology Transfer, which supports innovative projects where businesses can cooperate with research institutes and they receive financing for the joint projects. We have also several technoparks established in Moldova. There is a specific agency for the small and medium-sized enterprises, which is called ODIM. And also in other countries, this trend is continuing. Financial resources are made available. I was just in March in Georgia and met the newly established Georgian Innovation Fund, which was just established in this March. Belarus, similar situation, Belarusian Innovation Fund, which supports research and business projects already for some years, is in place. So we have a certain support structure already in place. Innovation funding tools are developed, so financial support is given to joint projects between businesses and research institutions, and these projects, what is very important, are going through a competition procedure. They are selected with evaluation procedures, and the best projects, the most promising projects which can develop the most promising innovations are supported afterwards. What is now the energy situation? We have in several countries a very high dependency on energy imports. When we look at Moldova, it's more than 90% that is imported. But of course, in the Eastern Partnership countries, the picture is rather different. We have also Azerbaijan, which is an important exporter of primary goods. So we should have a differentiated picture of the energy situation. There are efforts ongoing to enhance the energy efficiency and to support renewable energies. For example, in Georgia, we have a quite important role of hydropower, the natural resources that are available, and Georgia might even become an electricity exporter over the coming years. Moldova, as well, with this high dependency on energy imports, they are trying to stimulate the production in the country, and they have a certain focus on biomass now, and biogas or wood pellets are now becoming more important in Moldova as well. Go ahead. So I put some pictures on which I got from our Moldovan partners. So there are some examples. Modest, still modest, but there are some renewable energy resources which are established. This is a biogas plant in Chisinau, close to the capital. Outside of Chisinau, it was established. Next slide, please. So here we have an example of a photovoltaic park, a solar park in the capital. It's an agricultural market which was got these solar panels and which can cover its electricity needs through these solar panels. I looked also a bit into the energy topic in the Eastern Partnership. Eastern Partnership of the European Union tries to support energy reforms, sector reforms to enhance the energy security. There are support programs available. The EBRD, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, is supporting and providing funds to the Eastern Partnership countries to stimulate renewable energies, to stimulate sector reforms. So there is, for example, a direct support of EU funds to the Ministry of Energy in Moldova. They get a certain share of the budget from EU sources. There are steps to integrate the Eastern European countries into the European energy market. It was already said today that Ukraine has become member of the Energy Union, of the EU's Energy Union. Georgia is as well, and other countries are on the way, Moldova. So this is going into a stronger integrated cooperation between the European Union and the Eastern Partnership countries. There's also legislative and regulatory approachment in the energy field, trying to diversify the supply sources and routes. And yeah, next slide, please. Now I would like to talk a bit about the project which I am coordinating, which is called ENER2I, so Energy Research to Innovation. We are trying to improve the knowledge transfer and innovation activities in the field of renewable energies and energy efficiency, stimulate the linkages between research and innovation. So we have considered some tools for this, which I will show just shortly afterwards. Establish a sustainable cooperation between the research institutions and the innovation actors, the business actors, and address in particular the energy efficiency and renewable energies in the business sector, mostly within SMEs. So to give you some basic facts about this project, we are implementing it with a consortium of 11 partners. We have in this consortium research organizations, so it's not a broad consortium involving several qualifications. We have innovation funding agencies involved, SME support agencies, so we try to have a comprehensive picture and a comprehensive qualifications for implementing this project. Its budget is not very high, it's 1 million euros, but there are other projects, and my colleague Daniela Kiran will later on present another project of this kind. So altogether there are 6 projects targeted at the Eastern Partnership countries, and altogether 6 million euros can make a certain impact, of course, with our activities. Let's go already to the next one. So the main project activities, we are doing some analysis and will prepare some recommendations how to enhance this cooperation between the research and the innovation actors in the countries we are working with. I have to say we are focused in this project on 4 Eastern Partnership countries. We are working with Armenia, Belarus, Georgia, and Moldova. We have focused on those countries where we had, of course, the best contacts when we composed the consortium. So another activity that we are doing in the project is brokerage events. Brokerage, bringing the research actors and the business representatives in direct contact. That's the aim, that they can then together develop joint projects, plan joint innovative activities, and so on. Clustering, so clustering is referring to the projects that are funded in this research to innovation funding line of the European Union. So there are these 6 projects I just mentioned before, and the European Commission is trying to coordinate among these different projects the activities that we have, that we avoid duplication and that we can achieve a better joint impact. Training and capacity building, so we will offer some training courses on important issues in the innovation field, intellectual property rights, technology transfer. These issues we will train directly in the countries, so we will go to Belarus, to Moldova, and the two other countries and provide such training activities. Twinning, we will twin certain research and business actors from the Eastern Partnership countries with partners in the European Union. For example, I was myself going from our institute to the research partner in Belarus in March. I was advising the Belarusian Innovation Fund how we can implement new innovation stimulation instruments. And from the other side, there were some Georgian business representatives and scientists going to a conference to the Netherlands. So such activities we are trying to stimulate in this line. And last activity that we are doing is innovation vouchers, which is a very direct innovation support tool through financial support. Let's go ahead immediately. Once again, so I will show you some preliminary results of our activities. We have prepared some country reports where we look at the specific energy situation in the 4 countries we are working with. We study what are the available renewable energy sources, how far are they already implemented, available. So normally, for example, when I went to Belarus, we had a workshop with researchers and business representatives, and normally when you come there, often you might have the impression Belarus is only importing the primary goods from Russia and no renewable energies are in place, but this is not the case. So there are businesses active in Belarus in renewable energies. There is hydropower available. It's a much broader picture than we often suppose. We had workshops in all the partnership countries we are working with over the last month. We had, Armenia is just recent, 11th of June. So just yesterday we had the workshop there. The other ones were in March and April. So here you can see the picture of the Moldovan workshop. We had about 50 representatives from the business and research sector discussing these draft country reports and assessing our findings in these reports. Brokerage events. We are planning very, very soon, on the 23rd of June, a brokerage event in Brussels, in Belgium. You may know that during this period, 23rd of June and the whole week on, there is the European Sustainable Energy Week going on, and a lot of energy-related events are taking place in Brussels over this week. And one of these events will be a brokerage event organized by our project. And we are bringing, with travel grants, representatives from the 4 countries we are working with to Brussels to meet colleagues from the EU countries, to plan joint projects, to prepare joint projects in the Horizon 2020 research program of the European Union, because the countries can participate, of course, so, and also to bring research and business actors together. We are also planning local brokerages in all the 4 countries we are working with, so we have already agreed on the 14th to 17th October this year for a brokerage event and training events in Minsk, in Belarus, and this will be linked to a big exposition fair on energy which is organized during this period in Minsk. Another brokerage and training event is already fixed for Moldova as well on the 10th to 12th of December 2014, and this will also be linked to an innovation stimulation event which is organized by our partner, the Agency of Innovation and Technology Transfer, and they will hold their annual top innovation event where innovations receive prizes and awards during this period, and we will link our activities to these national innovation stimulation events. So here is the website of the brokerage event that we are just very soon organizing in Brussels, the Sustainable Energy Week, during the Sustainable Energy Week. Let's go ahead already. The last thing which I want to present a bit more in detail is innovation vouchers. So we, in our project, we considered that it is necessary to have also a financial stimulation instrument to bring the research organizations and the businesses together to develop joint innovations. So we have taken the example of innovation vouchers, which are very common in several EU countries. We have such innovation vouchers in Austria. In my country, they are available in Czech Republic, in Ireland, wherever. So it's quite a common tool. Normally, it's a limited amount of money, 5,000, 4,000, 6,000 euros, not a lot, you may say, but this money is given to small and medium-sized enterprises, and they can then purchase innovative research services from research partners. So the idea is really to bring that in direct contact the researchers with the small and medium-sized enterprises to counter this problem that we face now in the Eastern Partnership countries, that they are not working together de facto. So we have prepared the first innovation voucher competition in Belarus. We launched it just recently on 19th of May 2014, and small and medium-sized enterprises from Belarus can apply to this competition. We will hand out 6 such innovation vouchers for 4,000 euros each, and the submission deadline is in mid-August, on the 15th of August, and we will then run these submitted proposals through an evaluation procedure. We have experts from our project partners. For example, we have the Energy Agency of North Rhine-Westphalia from Germany in our consortium, and they will give experts to assess then the applications to this competition, but we will also involve experts from the Belarusian Innovation Fund in a joint panel to assess and find out the most promising projects for these innovation vouchers. Another competition we will launch in Moldova in December, and Armenia and Georgia will follow with brokerages and innovation voucher competitions next year, then in spring and autumn 2015. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, say this mostly. Just to say briefly, we have a rather short application. We tried to limit this. We need, of course, a certain description of the project that they want to undertake with this innovation voucher, but this is only maximum pages, up to half a page for the consortium description, who will undertake this small innovative project. A problem description, what is the innovative idea, up to 1 page, and the implementation and financial plan, how will they implement this innovative project, this small innovative project, and how they will use the money. They should tell this on 1.5 page. So it's a rather short application of maximum 3 pages to keep the administrative and bureaucratic procedures low, and have not too high barriers for the small and medium-sized enterprises to apply to this funding scheme. Okay, that was it, what I wanted to say, and I think the discussion will follow after the other presentations. Thank you for the attention.